Hey Funkoholics, how you doing? My name's Terry Wellbanks. I'm coming at you from my home of Funkos, I guess you could say. Lots changed. If you watch my first videos, I used to come at you live, which didn't make any sense because I was never live for my dungeon of Funkos. Where behind me I had a massive wall of Funkos. I still have those Funkos, but unfortunately I don't have them on display as much as I used to. And there's no reason for that other than spatial issues. Ironically, I had less space when I did have the Dungeon of Funkos. I guess maybe then my urge to display them was a little bit more than it is currently. And it's not that I'm not in love with Funkos. I haven't done a video in a long, long time, and I haven't had a chance to interact with a lot of people that did take the time to subscribe to me on YouTube or are in the group Funkoholics Worldwide on Facebook, which is still a very, very great group. Traffic's gone down a lot. A lot of the participation has gone down a lot. A lot of Funko videos from people that I used to watch have gone down a lot, and it seems that interest in general for Funko has gone down quite a bit. Now, I don't know if that's just me personally, because, I mean, if I'm being honest, it's not that I don't still love collecting Funkos. It's not that I still don't want to collect Funkos. Obviously, life gets in the way for all of us. I mean, some people that collected Funkos had kids, and now they can't. They don't focus on the Funkos, obviously, since they've had a child. That obviously takes precedence. Some people just got out of collecting them altogether. I see a lot of folks selling their collections online, trying to get rid of what they have. I'm not planning on doing that. I did sell about 400 Funkos, probably, I think it was 467 Funkos, and I know the exact number because it broke my heart, but I did sell them 2 months ago in order to fund getting the place where I am now, so I did part with those. That being said, I still kept majority of the ones that I loved. My South Parks, my Lion Kings, of course my Rick and Mortys, my Captain Spaulding, my Thing, Bane, my Chrome Batman. There's a lot that I did keep and that I still love, and I still do love Funko and I still do love collecting, but I think for me, the bubble of intensity has burst. I've been asked this question a lot by a lot of collectors, whether or not I believe that the Funko bubble has popped. I'm going to say no, and the reason why I'm going to say no is because I know that when there's fall exclusives or summer Comic-Con exclusives or there's a big drop, it reignites at least the flippers' interest in getting the Funko Pops, because every time I go into the store I can't get them because I work very, very long hours and very early throughout the day. All day during the week, so my only opportunity to really get them is based on my pre-orders that are through EB Games or GameStop, and when I pop into a Hot Topic. We don't have in Canada FYE or Barnes & Noble, Walgreens. We don't have any of these places to go to, so really there's only two stops for us unless we want to go to an independent comic book store or an independent retailer that would carry the Funkos, and then you're going to pay a markup, and I'm absolutely fine with that, especially if it's one that I'm after and that I need. There's a few places in town where I am that I go to that are independent, and I know I'm going to pay a premium or at least a few dollars more than big box retail, but I have no problem doing that. I think for me, the reason why I stopped doing videos is because Funko stopped releasing pops that I cared about. What I mean by that is no, they have released pops that I care about. They've released pops that I can attain without having to beg an American friend or have to cross the border to go buy, or one that I wouldn't have to line up for at 5 a.m. to get. For instance, Hot Topic did a Scar. Now the Scar was awesome. It was from the animated Lion King, not the new one, which was the Lion King. It wasn't the new one. It was from the old Lion King, and it had flames behind it, and I thought that it was super cool looking. And I still want to get the regular one. I just haven't had a chance to see it to buy it yet. I'm sure if I come across like a not as popular Hot Topic, I think I'll be able to find one. It was really cool, but I knew that I wasn't going to get it because I wasn't going to be able to go and line up the day of release at 5 a.m. to beat the guys that are always there to resell pops. And That's why, for me, I believe that the bubble burst is because I can't attain these pops and I can't attain these Funkos that a lot of other collectors or resellers can, because they have the time and they have the I guess the intensity to get up at 5 a.m. to drive down to the local mall and wait in line for them. And I used to do that back when I first started collecting because I got cheated out of a Joker with Kisses chase, because I was on my way to the store, and as I got to the store, there was a lady in front of me that bought it, and she had said that she was going to resell the thing and that I could have it for $60 if I wanted it. Obviously, I told her no, and that I wasn't interested in paying that price, but that's when it all really intensified for me in terms of me wanting to get, making sure that I got the releases that I wanted. Slowly through the progression, I should say, of me collecting, I started to realize when I really got into it, I bought everything. I bought every single pop that I could find. If I had even heard of it, I'd buy it, or I'd want to get it just so I had it for my collection. Then I turned into basically a hoarder of Funko Pops, and I got overwhelmed because I had 3 rooms full of them. I had spent a ton of money on them, and for me, when I first started, I bought this guy, and I just thought that it was going to be a fun hobby, and it was cheap. I think I paid $10 for this. And I remember having it and being so excited because, Captain Spaulding, there wasn't a lot of merchandise. There still isn't, but there wasn't a ton of merchandise for him. And I remember finding it and being so excited, it's scary, of how this guy came out and that I could have something that was pop culture of him. And it's still to this day, probably my 1A, 1B, 1C favorite pop between this thing and Bane. I absolutely love it. So, I remember finding that and being so excited, and it drove me to wanting to collect more and more and more, because I kept seeing things that I like Batman and Joker and, different movie characters, and I loved it. And I love the idea of having that pulp culture, reminiscing when I bought one and I'm like, man, I used to watch this show, super cool, like the Ninja Turtles and things like that. But then once I started getting stuff like, I'm probably going to get yelled at, but I don't care about the Godfather movies. And the Godfather set came out, and I was like, well, I'm going to buy those because Godfather, right? Or something else ridiculous would come out, like the 100. That's not ridiculous. I'm sure people love the show. But for me, I've never seen a single episode. So why the hell was I worried about getting that stuff? And I ended up becoming a hoarder, and so I got out of that immediately. I said, I'm not going to buy anymore. I'm just going to buy things that I like, which was a lie, because I ended up becoming what is called a value collector. And when collecting with value, I was only looking for exclusives, chases, or pops that I knew were going to have some sort of value to them. And that quickly got ridiculous, because ultimately I didn't start collecting these stupid things because I cared about the value. I collected them because I cared about the actual figure and the actual meaning behind buying that pop. Now I am collecting, or I still do collect, but then over time I think I got out of the hoarding, I got out of the value collecting, and then I really did just say, you know what, I'm done. I don't even want to buy from sets that I even love, because I know there's going to be some exclusives. There's going to be Comic-Con releases. Funko is going to do something to make it impossible to finish this set, and I'm pretty OCD when it comes to having a set. So it's taken me 3 or 4 years, I guess, to attain the Rick and Morty pops that I have, and I'm still to this day 2 pops short. One is the Swifty Morty to go with my Swifty Rick, which I just found yesterday at Hot Topic because I got a restock, because everybody lined up and bought them the day they came out, so I couldn't get them. And the other one is Tiny Rick, which has been out for a while. I'm sure I can get him. I know he's not worth a lot. None of these Rick and Morty pops really seem to be worth a lot, but they're very hard to get. And people that collect Rick and Morty pops tend to really like collecting these Funkos because they don't care about the values, because the set, I think there's 71 pops in total. I have 69 of them. And I think in total, it might be worth, $700, $800. It's not worth a lot in terms of PPG or Stashpedia, or it's not even Stashpedia anymore. Funko bought them. But in terms of the value in Canadian dollars, it's really not worth a lot, but if you collect them, you know you love them. So I stopped collecting for value. I still collect my Rick and Mortys. I'll still buy pops that I love, or that are coming out from things that I actually genuinely like. If they come out with a Shaquille O'Neal pop, or if they ever decide that they want to come out with, something really cool that hits home with me from when I was a child that they haven't had. They came out with the Simpsons ones; those are cool. South Park, they released a bunch of ones a few months back there, but I didn't end up getting them because they never came to Canada. It's frustrating collecting Funkos because of Funko. Funko has decided that, they still don't let Canadians shop on their website. They still release pops exclusively to the States, knowing that they have collectors worldwide. And this is nothing against American folks. I'm glad that you guys can get the collections that you can get. And I know so many of you help out us Canadians and people worldwide by getting these things for us, and then shipping them to us, etc. And, it's great that you do that, but you shouldn't have to do that, if that makes sense. I think that really has taken a lot of the excitement out of it for me. I think the moment that I give up is the second that I know that Funko is going to do something absolutely unattainable for regular everyday collectors to collect, for instance, Rick and Morty. The second that they come out with some 250 piece Funko Shop exclusive, it could be Abe Linkletter, or it could be some character, Alan Rails or something from Funko or from Rick and Morty, and then I'm just going to be done, because I can't continue to allow myself to get sucked into chasing or having to buy second market when there's so many available retail places that could be carrying these pops, and or Funko to at least allow other countries to be able to shop on their site, especially if they're willing to pay for the shipping and the duties. So that's definitely a little bit frustrating. I mean, not just that. I think that a lot of it comes down to clutter. I think that they take up a ton of space for a lot of folks, especially folks with kids. I think that them being as exclusive as they are has really taken down the interest, because a lot of folks, again, just can't be bothered, and they're not gonna it's not even a high anymore trying to find a Funko Pop when you get to a point where you know that you're gonna have to pay $100 for it, and you could buy it at any minute. You just have to go on Amazon or eBay and pay $100 for this Funko Pop, and then you get it and it could be damaged, etc. But it's not a thrill if you know that you're out the gate, you're gonna be able to buy it from somebody that just happens to be able to be in line at 5 a.m. every single day to get these pops. It sucks, and I still love the hobby. I don't think that the bubble has burst, but I think that it, in terms of a lot of the people that aren't flippers, that are diehard Funko fans or Funko collectors, I think the bubble has burst in terms of, we're still interested, at least I'm speaking for myself, I'm still interested in the pops and I'm still interested in collecting them, but I'm far less interested in going out and just going out for Funkos. I used to get up, leave my house, and go to Toys R Us, go to Hot Topic, go to EB Games, and try to find some pops, and try to find something cool. Like maybe I'll find a chase today, or maybe I'll or something like that. But even the chases, they suck too. I mean, they're the same pop with them holding something. Like the Aladdin set, Jasmine. I didn't care that I got her chase to complete my set because she literally was holding an apple, which I understand is a part of one of the scenes where they're in the marketplace and there's she's fighting about an apple. I get that it's a thing from the movie, but if you're gonna do a chase for Aladdin, like, pick a different character, do something crazy with it. Don't just make it glow in the dark or add some little trinket to it. It's very frustrating, and it's taken the interest out of chases completely. Like, I actually could care less if there was a chase. The only time that I would ever want a chase is if it came out for, like, say, my favorites, like South Park, Rick and Morty, Space Jam. I wish they would do a second line for, I'm sure they'll do a LeBron James one for the new movie that's coming out, but The end game set I wanted, but it's just too much. There's too many of them. There's too many different ones coming out. So I picked just the Thanoses because, you know, Thanos is probably my favorite character other than Thor from the movies. So I just can't really wrap my head around why Funko has saturated the market as much as they have. I kind of akin this to mixed martial arts in a way. The UFC, for anybody that doesn't know, is the Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's mixed martial arts. If you know me, you know that I was heavily interested in mixed martial arts and the UFC, and I got to work. I had the pleasure and the honor of working with a lot of MMA athletes and a lot of these fighters because I got into it, you know, based on no connections at all and just going door to door to different fighters via social media or Twitter or their agents or whatever, and I would set up events for them where I would have them do autograph signings. I would have them go do MMA seminars. I would have them, fly in, do some things, fly back out, and I would make them a little bit of money on top because I knew then, and it still holds the same today, that these guys don't make a ton of money. So they have to fight, 5-6 times a year, but they get medical suspension, so they can't. Long story short, I'm trailing off here, but I absolutely loved mixed martial arts, and I still do. I still watch every single fight card. I think that it's the best, but there's too many of them. There's too many. UFC used to have one fight at most a month, and it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew, and it became like just as big as any other sport, I would say, in the world at one point. It was as big as hockey. It was as big as basketball. I think it was as big as baseball or football or any sport. I think it had worldwide potential to be the biggest thing. And they blew it. And the reason why they blew it is because instead of doing one card a month where they have all of their best or exclusive fighters, basically rotating and fighting, instead they chose to do one a week and they would have, I don't know, I think they got 8 or 9 champions, and it seems like endless divisions. Sometimes or most of the time there's stand-in champions because the champion's injured. It's just it's a lot, and it's overwhelming, and I think that's exactly what Funko has done. And I get the business model: get as much as you can while you can, and then get out. And I will assume that is what Funko's doing. I think they're treating their business like a money printer, and once the money printer dries up, I think that'll be it. And I know they've been around a while. I don't think that they expected the growth that they've gotten. I don't think they expected to get the licenses that they've gotten. And ultimately, I think that it's gotten to their heads in terms of the products. As much as I love having, a Funko keychain, I would never want to buy more than one, but they've got a Funko keychain for every character. They have Funko lights, they have Funko bed sheets, they have Funko t-shirts, Funko hats, mystery minis, wacky wobblers. They've got, if you name it, they've done it when it comes to pop culture. I think now they're making actual scene sets. I think there's a Batcave coming out from DC Primal or Batman Primal. Unbelievable. Why? Stick to what you're good at and try to make it so everybody can enjoy the hobby. This is not an everybody can enjoy the hobby type of thing. This is a very niche collector or money-based hobby, and it's not $12.99 a pop. And if somebody tells you it's $12.99 a pop, they're lying. It is when you first start buying them, and then slowly as you get more into it, you start to realize the people that surround this they really love money more than they love the Funkos or collecting the pops. And I got to a point to where I was angry at these people, but now I don't care. I don't have time for them, so I don't invest any of my emotions or my anger towards them, because who cares? If they want to make money selling vinyl pops and they have the means and the time because they're not working to go line up at Hot Topic or a Walmart or Target or wherever it is that they go to line up to get all these exclusive pops, all the power to you, man. I recommend getting a job. It'll probably, help your life a little bit more, not only with, ladies or men or, vehicles, homes, clothing, hygiene products. I mean, it would help us so much if you would just physically go to work as opposed to worry about, being the first one in line to get an exclusive, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z pop. It's silly, right? If you really think about it. And Funko should have the foresight and the wherewithal to know that they're losing collectors by the day because they just don't give a shit about their consumers, and they don't give a shit about their customers. They don't care that people struggle to actually get the ones that they like. They don't care that they release a 1 of 500 piece, blah, 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 making it nearly impossible for a regular collector to get them. If you ask Funko questions on Twitter, they don't care. They just want you to retweet their tweets and, enter their contest to win a free pop that you'll never win. If you ask, it's just crazy. And ultimately, that's the reason for this video. Now, I'm going to start doing review videos again, and I'm going to start talking about things other than just Funko. So if you're here just for Funko, I apologize. But I think I want to keep doing this, but I think I would like to just talk, if that's cool. I think I'd like to just, spout off some of my ideas and some things that I think work. I'm also going to do Funko reviews. I might talk about movies a little bit. I don't have the editing knowledge. I'm ignorant to it, not on purpose, but I don't know how to cut. I don't know how to make different scenes. I don't know how to do swipes and all the digital crap. I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to talk. And if people want to watch, that'd be great. If they don't, I totally get it. I wouldn't want to watch my ugly face either, but it's completely up to you. And I do love collecting Funko. I think that they're great. It's helped me a lot when I was down and when I was severely depressed. It got me out of my depression trying to find these crazy little things, and I fell in love with it, and I still do love it. But at the same time, the other collectors, the company that sells them, a lot of the stores that sell them, the actual company at Expo last year was a disaster, and it's just made me hate it too. It's bittersweet because, the other day or yesterday I went to go out and I saw the Swifty Rick. So I bought it and I was super excited again, and it reminded me as to why I'm so damn excited about these things. I just think they're great. And I know that there's a lot of folks out there that still collect and still love them. I'm happy to interact with you. Please comment below. Let me know what you think about the Funko bubble, whether or not you think that it's popped, or if you think it's still here, or if you still enjoy collecting. Has anything deterred you from collecting? And if it has, can you tell me what? So I have a better idea. And let me know some of the cool things you've collected, and hopefully you'll hit the like button. If you hit the dislike button, I get it too. If you haven't subscribed and it's your first time watching, I would love for you to watch some of my older videos where I'm talking a little bit more passionately about flippers and things like that. But I do love collecting. I do love these things, and I do hope that you'll stick around and you'll stay subscribed, and you might even be interested in some of the other crap I'm going to talk to you guys about. Thank you so much for taking these 23 minutes and 11 seconds to watch this crap and watch me ramble. I do appreciate it, and I hope that I'll see you all again soon. And if you do subscribe, or if you are watching this and you decide to subscribe to the channel, please let me know that you're here. I'd love to have a talk with you. I'll talk in the comments with you, okay? Thanks so much, and I'll do a video this week covering off some of the Comic-Con exclusives that I got. I did pick up a couple. I got the Blue Chrome Batman and the Aliens. A couple of ones that I really, really wanted I got, and of course the 2 Rick and Mortys. But yeah, I'll cover those off, and maybe some other new ones that I picked up that I think you guys might like. So we'll talk soon. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. And yeah, everybody have a great collecting, great week coming up, and hopefully you guys find everything you're looking for. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon. Peace.